Hello, girls and boys. Welcome to music. We've been going to music for at least half the year now, but we're going to talk about some important things that we need to know for the rest of the year. First things first, we need to talk about common expectations for all places around the school, including the music room. Typically, when we talk about expectations, we mean pause. So, we're going to break it down. These are some everyday expectations for every time that you come into the music room. We're going to walk in quietly, typically in our line order. You're going to sit in a number seat according to what order you were in line. You're going to wait for directions for the next thing that we're going to do. And if you need to talk or ask a question, you're going to raise your hand. Let's talk about self-control. I want you to think of a couple examples of it, and I'm going to show you one now. Do these students look like they're practicing self-control? They may not be practicing self-control in the hallway of their school. How about this student? Is he practicing self-control? How are some ideas that we might practice self-control? There are lots of ways. Sometimes it might be separating yourself from one of your friends. Or sometimes it might be as simple as raising your hand to talk. There are many ways that we can practice self-control. What would you do? What are some examples of acting responsibly? Look at these two students. Do they look like they're acting responsibly? I see one student talking to the other student when it looks like they're supposed to be reading. To me, this looks like they might be being irresponsible. How could they have acted responsibly? What would you have done in this situation? Working for success. Working for success usually means doing the best on whatever we can. Look at this example. Does this student look like he's working for success? He should be trying his best no matter what the task is. If he told you that he was working his absolute best, but he was throwing paper airplanes, would you believe him? How could he have been working more for success? And what would you do? Showing respect is especially important because if we can't show each other, teachers, classmates, everybody around us, the proper respect, nothing else will work. Look at the students in this picture. It looks to me like they're not being respectful of the other student. In fact, it looks to me like they might even be bullying him. Can you think of some ways that you would practice respect better in this situation? How would you deal with this? Now that we've talked about pause, we're going to talk about how we come into the classroom. Our line order outside in the hallway is our line order inside. Sometimes I will make changes to this and ask you to sit in a different place. Please change nicely and do not argue. Come in without talking, touching, or distracting each other. It's a silent line as we come in. Look at this example. Does this look like the right way that we need to be in line? Now look at this example. This looks like students that are coming in a line correctly. Whenever we use chairs, we sit in them a specific correct way. Your legs are in front of you and your feet are flat on the floor. Your arms are either at your sides or in your lap, and your bottom is all the way in the chair. If I see people sitting incorrectly, then we'll practice how we're supposed to sit. This is an example. Is this student sitting correctly? Now what about these students? Are they sitting correctly? When we are about to sing, you should have your eyes on me and you should be getting ready. I'll say something that's like, ready to sing, and your eyes will be on me. When we start to sing, I want you to keep looking at me because I may give you directions while we're singing that may include where we stop or what else we do when we're singing. When we finish singing, look for me to cut you off. It'll look like a big circle, and that's when we all need to stop. We will also line up a specific way. The number order in your chair, the way that you came in, is also the number order that we will line up. When we are in line, our mouths are closed and our feet are straight forward. I want you to give each other space. If you are less than an arm length in front of the person in front of you, you need to put more space between you and your neighbor. Look at these folks. They're starting to line up. I see that the first chair has lined up first, and the others are waiting patiently to be called. And now that we're in line, I see students that are raising their hand patiently, maybe even having their eyes on me to follow the next direction. If we do all these great procedures, we're going to have a great year. We're going to do all this so we can have a fun class and be friendly. That is our goal. Let's work to make music in Wilburn a great place to learn. Go Wilburn!